I heard there was, what was it? She won an award, but a lot of the lead actors didn't.
Let's just save it for us. It's the next episode we record, but
It's
in 2 weeks for everyone else.
it's the next episode that you listeners get to listen to, but not the next one we record. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with me, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
Whoa, it's me, Itisdpayne.
I don't know what to say as an intro because I'm really distracted with the fact I have so much clutter in the background.
You know what's real fun though? The way we kind of cut the video things, it's like pretty much I think they barely see the separation between your two doors.
Okay, so you'll get like the top of the head. You'll get a rabbit.
Yeah, you'll get like a rabbit ear and maybe a fin, depending.
Okay.
It all depends on how Itisdpayne feels like editing stuff.
That's fine. Will you also see my laundry basket and vacuum?
Partially. It depends how you sit. So now you're just gonna cover it. It's not here. Yeah, that's what. There's times where I'm like, man, I want to go get a tripod for my camera so that way it's just like back a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But then I'm just lazy. But then I did buy new bed sheets, which once we're done here, I gotta go wash.
Oh, that's fun. I have new shirts I bought over the weekend that I like that I need to wash so I can finally wear them. Oh, when people say turning 30 is boring, we're not evidence contrary to that.
I knew I was getting old because, you ready? You brought it up. You opened up the door. I recently, me and the guy at work, we were talking about like clothing and the fabrics that they're made out of and everything, and just trying. There's some fabrics that he knows a lot more of the like thought and the study behind it, but there's like some fabrics that are just better for you, like human contact and stuff. I'm not going to go into all of it because I didn't explain it. He did explain it to me, and I'm like, I'll give it a shot. But like one of the ones that are just really good for you, apparently, is wool. Okay. And when I think of wool, I think of like the heavy wool sweaters, and the wool socks. And I'm just like, let me go check this out. And apparently there's wool that is like
breathable. Yeah,
and like well, long story short, I found one. I was like, let me try to buy it. Oh, not try to buy it. Let me buy it. And so I did, and it's here, and I wore it yesterday, and it's the best hoodie I've ever wore in my life. The complete other side of it is though, because I bought it when I was late. It was late at night. I bought it, and I'm like, cool. And like I had a whole bunch of like PayPal points saved up, so it's like I didn't pay the full price. Mm-hmm. But it was like the next day, I'm like, how much did I spend on a hoodie? And I'm like, and I'm like, I went back. I was like, I spent $100 on a hoodie. I'm like,
but it's the best hoodie.
It is the best hoodie I've ever worn. But I'm still like, I spent $100 on a hoodie.
Don't look back.
To be fair, I think it was closer to like 50 after like all the the PayPal points I had saved up. And I was like, I'm never gonna use these. Slap them in there. And so, but yeah, so it's. I don't know. It was just one of those things where I'm like, because it was like cold. It was like cold and wet yesterday, and it's like
80 today.
Mm-hmm. I didn't wear it today, but no, it was great. But now I'm tired today. I also was like doing a really long road trip trying to get these like energy sources and just power up my thing. I've been playing Pacific Drive. If you have you familiar with that at all?
I am. Strider's been playing it.
Oh man. Have you peeked at him playing at all, or
he'll stream it while I'm working, so then like I'm not bored while I'm working from home. So I've watched.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I've watched quite a bit of it.
I was gonna say, when I get home and I like turn on my computer, I always see hop, playing team fight tactics.
Oh, I can do multiple things.
I never said you couldn't. I just wonder, how do I get in that job where I can just play team fight tactics?
Shh, don't tell my job.
Your job doesn't know I exist. Or does it? And then I turn around with no mustache but full beard. I am your employer.
Dun dun dun. Oh, that reminds me. Tomorrow I have to interview somebody. I don't want to do that.
Hey, it's me.
Well, in any case, since we've diverted a bit, we talked about, getting boring when you get older, and that's on topic with the movie we watched for this week's movie for A24 for 2024. But first, D-Payne has a fact.
Yes, let me just double check to make sure it's the right fact, because fact number 20. That's the one I was thinking of, which it says the company has partnered with Apple's new streaming service to produce a slate of original film. Okay.
A little outdated.
Yeah, but it's like...
What was produced? Does it list what it was supposed to produce?
No.
Oh,
no, that's the next fact.
Oh, tune in next week to find out what was exclusively produced with Apple. I'm trying to remember. Oh, you know what? Talk to Me has iPhones in them. Do any other movies that we've watched have Apple products in them?
Doesn't the whale, doesn't he use a Mac?
I thought he had a really old laptop. I didn't know that it was name brand.
It could be really old Macs. Or he probably had a Lenovo, because since he was a teacher.
Yeah, like a university provided laptop. He might have had, or she might have had a Mac. His daughter. I can't remember.
Me neither.
He didn't really have much technology.
He was the technology.
It was all coming from him. But yeah, so
I was thinking... had an iPhone somewhere hidden on set with the lighthouse, and then they're just like, man, who left the iPhone? You know what? Make everything black and white. That way no one sees it.
I think Apple has an agreement with film companies that characters that use Apple products are not allowed to be villains in a movie.
Did The Rock write that contract?
I don't know who wrote that contract, but I mean, like, have you watched Knives Out?
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, I heard people say that they knew who wasn't the bad guy because of that Apple thing. So, like, Jamie Lee Curtis's character uses an iPhone pretty early on in the movie.
I have some thoughts about that person, but we have to wait 2 weeks.
I heard there was, what was it? She won an award, but a lot of the lead actors didn't.
Let's just save it for us. It's the next episode we record, but it's in 2 weeks for everyone else.
It's the next episode the listeners get to listen to, but not the next one we record. Or no. Yes. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up because the next one on the list is something that's
Yeah, we repeat it. But anyway, you know what also comes with age? Forgetfulness. And you know what we don't forget? Actually, I do forget to check if we have reviews.
We promise. We are aware of you guys.
Yeah, you know what? I'll check. Hey, interact? Is that what I got to click now? Because we had to update everything? Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong thing. That's a different thing.
I don't think I saw anything for the YouTube because I logged into it very briefly while we were chatting.
I'll say, the most of the time when we get YouTube comments is when Maddie's on.
And that's okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I lost everything that I'm looking for. You know what? Let me just type in this. So that way I can bring up the IMDb and Wiki that I actually never read when we do this. But anyway, you know what? Before we forget other stuff, today we're talking about Dream Scenario. Boom. Movies.
Age.
Cheese. Burger. But yes, we watched Dream Scenario. I guess we should roll some dice and we can just waddle right in, unless you have
Is this more
anything else.
comments about old age? Waddling.
I always say waddle.
I'm a skedaddler myself. My color grading, it keeps messing up. I'm trying to adjust
I
my
see
light.
it out of
So,
the corner
like,
of my eye, and I'm like,
when I have my hand here, it's nice, and I put my hand back, and it gets really cool toned, and I'm like, what's...
I'm a summer, not a fall.
Whatever.
Or a winter.
I just look like you're wearing blue light glasses. Okay. Which dice? 100? 20.
120?
120? Then we have to do math.
Yeah. Ugh. Let's see. Well, we've been talking about age, and so let's roll D100s.
Okay. I picked up the wrong dice anyway because I was holding a D8, and I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah,
That's a D10
I'm like,
and a
neither of
D100.
those look like a
Two
D100.
D10s.
Yes. I got the stinky cheese. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, we roll dice at the beginning of every show to determine who's going first. And this will give like a brief synopsis of the film, and then from there we will go into 30-minute super spoil town of the recording, not of the recording of the movie. We'll talk about everything about the movie.
Turn back now because this is a very recent film. If you don't want spoilers for Dream Scenario.
I almost said a different movie.
Dream
But
Scenario.
yes, Dream Scenario, I rolled. Hold up, before you roll and reveal what you say, are we doing highest or lowest?
I don't know. I don't think I would call this a horror film, so I guess we could go with highest this time to change it up.
Okay. I rolled a 31.
77.
I'll just slide my dice over here, and I'll just let you take center stage out of 2.
Alright, so my quick synopsis.
If I edit it more, I would put you right in the smack middle of the screen, but that require me more work and remember where things actually...
Timestamps and things.
Yeah.
It probably makes sense why when we had another guest who has his own podcast, he asked you about like show notes or whatever, and me and you were like,
We just chat. We're like a fireside chat. Just go.
So yeah, synopsis of this movie. We have the professor who is a pushover, but he does have a family. He's got a wife and 2 daughters. And it opens up with his daughter having a weird dream about him. And he gets really self-conscious about the fact that he learns that he's in all these different dreams, but in all the dreams he is just a bystander who doesn't help anybody with anything. And as he begins to gain fame from being in everybody's dreams, his emotional state is terrorized. Insert commentary on social media. That's all.
Fame. Burgers. All right.
Anything I missed?
Well, if there was, we'll get it in a second.
Timer time?
I will start that timer in 3, 2, 8, go. I wasn't expecting the movie to just already have him in the dream. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, he's just there.
I was gonna say that overall for this movie, it felt to me like a movie I would watch as a teenager and tell other people to watch it because I thought I was smart enough to understand the message of the movie. But now that we've watched so many movies for this podcast, I was like, it felt like someone was like holding my head still, making me stare at the screen going, do you get it? It's about social media and being famous and getting canceled. Yeah, it's literally what's happening on the screen. But do you understand?
Do you get it? They mentioned Alex... Wait, did they mention Alex Jones? They mentioned Joe Rogan.
They mentioned Joe Rogan. They mentioned... there were a couple other, like...
Yeah, here's the only one I remembered.
Things. But anyway, it felt like it was taking a hammer and going, like, this is the bit. And they had this, and they were like, do you get it? Do you get it?
For listeners, neither of those things were a hammer. One was an egg, and I think one was an iron ingot.
One was my case for my wireless earbuds, and the other was my dice case.
Oh, wait, I got one of those.
But you don't roll them? You roll your stinky cheese?
these have been sitting here so long they have dust on them.
They're asking for their chance.
I haven't rolled either one of those dispel dice yet. I rolled the one that was like, here's the junk bag. It was just a bunch of extra dice. I rolled them at my games, and I've been literally holding on to like the one that has like gold and all that stuff in there for my character to die or do something cool and be like, all right, it's time for the serious dice, and I hope they roll a 1. Anyway, that's a completely different thing.
But yeah, so anyway, for listeners, I was miming like hitting something with a hammer.
Mm-hmm. Well, we also know that Hop is not the villain because she has earpods. So
they're not Apple products. They're Google products.
She's the villain. It's confirmed. There we go. Get her. A comment. Wait, did we say that when we were recording or not? I don't know. Any poops. But yeah, it's one of those movies where, like, I feel that if I wasn't paying attention to, like, not just cancel culture, but like just, I don't know, when you do streaming and like put content out there, I think it's just one of those things where you just inadvertently pay attention to, and I don't even know if that's the right word, but anyway, it's just you're
aware of it.
Yeah, you're aware, and you're like okay,
it's
I'm not
the
gonna
hot goss as being someone who puts stuff on the internet.
Mm-hmm. But like also just like being aware, like okay, not to like cater because there's no way you're gonna please everybody with your content, but it's just like I'm not making it worse for myself, am I? So it's just stuff like that. And then I don't know. It was just like this movie. It was just like
I'm getting a little distracted because I'm not moving and my color grading is just going back and forth, and I don't. Is it the stuff in my background?
Maybe.
I'll just have to live with it. Anyway, go on. Sorry, anyone that watches this as video format.
It's the rave. It hops in a rave.
Yeah, for sure.
Look, we're both tired because we've also had, scrolled down for his actual name, Paul Matthews show up in our dreams.
No.
He's just like,
the only dream I would want are the dreams in the very beginning.
Yeah, okay. These dreams, like, the more they go in there, the more awkward they get.
Yeah, so like, I would have totally just been fine. Like, I know you said there's, like, violence, and I was like, how does this get violent? This guy doesn't even have the spine to say that he's mad that a lady literally stole his copyright.
Mm-hmm.
Because, that's the big shtick where he's aggravated because well, like, I think the other thing about the main character in this is he's aggravated about things that he could work on, but instead wants to blame everybody else for it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, like, a lot of signs of it, because in the beginning he has, like, his self-consciousness when his daughter is like, yeah, you just stood there. And he's like, oh, so you think I'm a loser? And his wife is like, it was literally a dream. Like, shut up. That's your daughter.
Yeah.
And then the part where he has the lunch with the lady. He's like, please, oh God, put my name in the credits. I need this. You don't understand. She's just like, ugh, I have the ick. I don't want to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. That was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And then,
Oops.
What was the other? Oh, yeah. His students are, like, talking in class. He's like, are you listening? And they're like, yeah, sure. Like, talking on the side regardless. And I forgot, there was another thing. Oh, and then, there's the whole bit where he runs into an ex and his wife is like, tell me about her. He's like, oh. And she's like, were you stumbling because you still love her? He's like, oh.
He's like, oh, no, I love you. And it's... He's definitely like one of those guys where it's just like, I shouldn't say guys. He's a person who it's just, he's not secure in where he was, but then it's like throughout the course of the movie, losing everything, he realizes it's just like, oh, maybe I did have everything I wanted or
Yeah,
at the
a
point.
very grass is greener kind of energy.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is like, oh yeah, he has this whole obsession about writing his book. And literally from beginning to end of the movie, they go, "Oh, how's your book going?" He's like, "Well, I haven't written it yet." And they're like, "Don't
How
tell
about
me."
Obama? Is Obama still on the line?
Oh, that's a whole nother bit.
Yep.
What was it? I was not expecting to see so many like faces I recognize as technically side characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like Michael Cera is in it. I
Yeah.
recognized the character that wants to be intimate with him. That's how I'll put it.
I had no clue who she was.
I feel like I've seen her in some other stuff. And then I recognize the other lady working at the agency as like Michael Cera's assistant or whoever. And I don't know. It was just. Oh, and then I recognized, because again I'm chronically online, I recognize some of the kids that they had play like social media stars when they have that whole invention. Like I recognize some of those
Norba
faces.
or Nordby or whatever it's called.
Yeah. But anyway, so I think the thing that bothers me the most about the movie is just like the progression of it. It feels like baby's first satire. Like it really, because like I bought into the whole beginning half, I would say. I'd say the first half I bought into it, where it's clearly he's distressed because he wants to find a way to leverage his newfound fame to get things he wants. And he's being confronted with the idea that just because people recognize your face doesn't mean that they want to know more about you or will respect you in other ways, which is like an important thing to discuss when it comes to social media, right? Because it's a lot of becoming viral on the internet is usually not something that becomes sticky for long-term things. And, you know, over the years, you can see many people have gotten internet famous. And then when they try and do too much to stay famous, people go, oh, he's money grubbing, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to keep supporting him. But yeah, so Paul Matthews tries to like lead this life because he gets excited because he's finally getting attention that he says he's deserved his entire life, even though he hasn't really done anything. But he believes he's finally getting the attention he deserves. And then he starts to get greedy, and then everything starts to fall apart around him, which I liked. But then the part when they started to bring in the whole Paul is the reason that we can now put ads in your dreams, and then the cancel culture stuff, I was like, okay, they're doing too much. Like, I would have liked it if they just focused on Paul's descent rather than trying to add in, like, every aspect of the social media life cycle.
Yeah. It's yeah, it was one of those. It was something where I'm like, okay, this is the route we're going, and then it's like it was one of those things. It was just something where, okay, yeah, we understand he's getting canceled, and it's just one of the it was something where like, okay, Paul, I could understand like when the dreams start going worse, like I could understand his argument of like, but it's like I don't do any like I thought it was gonna go more of the line of like, no, it's literally not me doing, like I have no control, I don't even know I'm in your dreams, but it's like, no, but then it was just the way he, like as you said, how he reacts to it, and it's just like from that point it's just, as you said, satire for canceling somebody rather than like, I don't know, it could have gone another way where it's just like, because when he experiences the dream and like he gets hunted himself, and then his whole reaction was just like, okay, but like when I first saw that, I'm like, well, hold up, is there like, and this is a problem with A24 films, because it feels like it's either go satire or like, no, it's a demon. And it's just like, is there like an evil version of him, like
hurting himself?
Yeah. Like kind of, what is it? Oh, I forget the movie. I just remember it had violins, it had a goofy costume designs. Insidious, where there was dream copies or like these other copies, and like they would go into like the dream realm, and they're like, you need to get back into your body Otherwise, it's like
Oh, it'll take your body from you kind of
yeah.
energy.
So not that I was thinking that, but it's just like, okay, was there like a connection somehow where like his dream self is now like able to, because they even bring in things like the hive mind stuff, like because that's what the ant colony stuff that he was looking into and everything. But no, it was just like, okay,
I
like
was also hoping, like, I don't always need an answer for why things are happening. It's fine. There's
mm-hmm,
plenty of things I read or watch where it goes unexplained. I think it would have been interesting if they put in something to say, like, after, like, the beginning bit, I was expecting him to have, like, an underground lab in his house where he was messing with intelligence and accidentally triggered this, like, hive mind of dreams
mm-hmm.
that is connected to him personally because of his emotional state. Right. And I was like, oh, that would be really interesting to learn about and see. And then they just go, and everything stopped for no reason. The end. I was like, okay.
Yeah, like I was wondering, because that was something I was wondering. Like I even wrote like, so the last time he showed up in everyone's dreams was when he tried to break into his daughter's play recital and everything, and he kind of gets roughed up then.
He
Like he even
committed
gets
violence.
yes, and he gets
Accidentally, but.
yeah, and he gets roughed up beforehand, as well. Like, and I'm like in the I can't remember if like the when he gets punched in the diner and
Yeah, because
and the
people say they're not comfortable with him being there, and he
mm-hmm,
goes, well, then they can leave. Blah, 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 blah.
mm-hmm.
And then a guy comes in, spits on his food, and then he
I
starts a food fight.
I just laughed at the way he's just like.
I know,
Just
it
like,
wasn't very
and
masculine.
then just cuts to his wife picking it up as he has like the ice pack on his face. He's like, "Yep." But
But, like, the thing, and then, like, when it comes to unlikable characters, this might be the least likable character we've watched in a movie. Because
yeah,
even after getting beat down and humbled, he still lies to his wife and kids.
mm-hmm.
I mean, like, he didn't fully lie. He did go to Paris for all of that stuff. But, like, he still was a pushover when he was like, this book is really thin. And the title is weird. It's like, yeah, it's I'm Your Nightmare. And he's like, well, it was supposed to be Dream Scenario.
You said the title.
That's the name of the movie.
But yeah, it was just but like when he goes to Paris and all that stuff, and there's the whole point where like the light falls off and hits him in the head, because like it felt like that point like he was trying to use the Nobi or whatever it was called, the device that allows you to visit people's dreams, and it seems like such a thing that would happen today. He's like, we're here to give ads in your dreams, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I would hate I would hate
Don't
this.
give him ideas.
Yeah, and so they're already trying, but it felt like it wasn't until like he got hit in the head again that he was able to go visit his wife's dream to do exactly what she said. Now, whether she realizes it or not, it's all that. I do want to say one quick thing. As you were saying, there's a bunch of people you recognized. The realtor I recognized because as he's showing him his house, I'm like, wait a second. That's the lady that's the voice of Ada Wong from Resident Evil 4.
That's a very specific, like...
So the only reason I know this because when the Resident Evil 4 remake came out, a lot of people were not happy with her performance in it. And I don't really have a problem with it. I can understand where they're coming from, but I'm like...
It's just as much on the voice direction, not just, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, whatever. And... but it was just... like... But the only reason I recognized it because like there were so many people complaining. Like I was just reading articles. I'm like, who the heck is this person? So I'm like, oh, well, this is a person I'll never see again. And then we're watching this movie. I'm like, Ada?
I'm seeing you again.
Ashley? But yeah, that since we brought up people that we recognized, that was it.
Yeah. But yeah, like... I really wish they just didn't put the ads in your dreams bit in the movie. I don't feel like it added or did anything. Did they just want to put Nicolas Cage in shoes and make a joke about what was it, the bit he was like trying to punch the advertising kid in the dream,
Yeah.
and then the other one shows up. He's like, "Don't do that. You'll have mega ultra punches if you take this protein supplement." I was like, "Is this funny?"
Yeah. And then it's like they're even saying like, "Hey, we did this without like uh using the night like if nightmares happen, it automatically gets canceled and like the whole dream gets canceled and all that stuff." And I was like, I don't know. Part of me wonders if it would be interesting. It's like we have this whole like campaign, and then it's just like everyone's like, yeah, this is what we do, and all that stuff. And then, as you said, like if he was behind selling this, and then he's just like, well, I know how everyone's gonna react, so.
Yeah.
But it would be a complete out of character thing for him. It felt, I don't know. It's just I was also wondering. It was just like, what's the last 10 minutes of this movie? And I don't know. It's like as you said, like it's not that I need a reason why he's showing up in people's dreams and all that stuff, but
It's like it felt like they were lead-ins, and they just decided that the lead-ins weren't important. Like they could have made his research at college anything, and it wouldn't have been connected to the dream, and the story would still be the same. But they purposely picked a type of like study that would explain the shared dreams, and then they decided that it didn't mean anything, and it just gets stolen, and that's it. And I was like, okay, I guess. Like it. It's like it's almost like how would I say it? When someone's like, "What if I told you this is what happened?" And you'd be like, "Oh, that's crazy." And they're like, "But what if I told you it wasn't?" I'd be like, "Well, then why did you tell me that?"
because it was fun.
Like I don't know. Like I think this movie had a lot of potential because like the trailers and descriptions. I know I was really excited for it, and I really like was like, "Can we watch this movie for this?" I think it could have gone through like one or two more edits.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. This was your, I gotta remember what it was. Lock.
Oh, where I thought it was going to be something, and then we watched it, and I was like, it's fine.
It so like I remember seeing the trailer, and then now that I've seen the movie, this is the opposite of what happened with The Martian, because when The Martian trailer came out, it made it feel like, is there life on Mars? Like what's going on? And it sounded like this huge horror movie, and then you watch it, and it's just Survivor Man on Mars, but it's done really well.
That one's based off the book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the book's really good too. There's a couple different things. It's one of those things that cracks me up where people like watch the movie and they're like, "Oh, of course China had to give the new engine because the movie's going." It's like, no, that's literally what happens in the book.
Yeah.
Like,
This book is written well before all of your like propaganda schemes, but oh well.
So I'm like, just get over yourself. But then this one, it felt like it was gonna have that kind of dream-like horror, maybe like more esoteric kind of stuff, and then it's like, no, it's just the internet.
Yeah, like I think when I watched the trailers, I was hoping it was something between like something really introspective, like The Whale, right, where it talks about like the human condition and stuff like that, mixed with like a little bit of not quite ex machina, but something where it's like a discussion on, you know, what happens to a society when everybody dreams of the same guy, while also looking into how that guy is dealing with it. But yeah, instead we got the dreams were just the internet.
And I did think, and there's, like, as you said, it felt like there's a lot of on-ramps to gone a different direction. Because I was wondering, like, okay, he, the first time the dream, because at that point, like, people are saying, like, you just kind of stand there, you don't really do anything, but then, like, more and more stories come out, and it's, like, apparently, Paul Matthews is doing more than just watch, and we kind of interact with Molly a little bit, where she's just like,
And remember, this all happens after him and his wife enjoy each other.
oh, was that? Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they do that, and then it's just like it goes into detail of like what she dreams, and it's like I'm just sitting there, I'm like, man, what did I write? And it's like, I guess she's gonna learn to not meet your dream fantasies in real life.
Never meet your heroes.
Yeah, stand in the corner. Should I? No, just shut up. It was like
And then he
awkward.
sits down and he's like, "Tell me what you want." She's like, "Well, you usually lead." He's like, "How would I?"
Yeah, and just like, he's like, touchy and all that, and then as I wrote, where'd he go? It's like the fart defense is working.
It wasn't so much a defense as his
Yes,
everything ejected at the same time.
yeah, and she's just like, oh. Maybe
he's
we'll just
like-
meet in the dream realm.
He waddled away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He waddled and cried away. But then it's just
Do you remember the Lonely Island, the music group that the Adam Sandberg?
is that the one? It's like I'm on a boat.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
okay.
They have one song about exactly what happened to Nicolas Cage on the couch. Let me send it to you.
Okay.
But anyway, continue.
But like after all that, like as it feels like the fame, like he meets with Thoughts, which is a group, and like they're trying to get him to pretty much do what the end of the movie is doing. And which is probably why they put that in there. Now I'm thinking about it. But anyway, they do that, and then he goes and meets with Molly and everything, to where if I was wondering, like, okay, I just looked over and saw the
The song title.
Yep.
Yeah, you just need the title.
But I was wondering if it was what the movie was going to be, was like not how it ends, where it's just like he just loses it, just loses the ability for no reason. But I was wondering if it's going down the route, because we see a sign like where after he's like he goes back to his hotel room like embarrassed and all that stuff, and is just angry in his dreams until when he finally is able to fall asleep. Everyone has the anger come out, where it's just like we see his daughter, him come out like just like ah, like just all that. That's when he chokes a student before we just never come back there, and then he beats another student in the back of the head with a hammer, and it's just yeah, just like that's when it's like the acts of violence. And so, and it shows that he was recorded meeting with Molly in the bar. And so I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, is what's going to happen now is we're getting signs that his emotional state before falling asleep very clearly now affects what is happening in everyone's dreams, and how he does that. And so if he starts to learn that and puts it together, and he just begins to calm down, like he has to be calm, but then it's like this stuff comes up, and then it's like trouble at home, and then it's like more like starts suffering and all that. It could have gone that. I don't know. I still don't know why he showed up in his own dream, but hey.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, like, yeah, it was... I don't know.
Let's
like,
see. Does Wikipedia shed any light on this? You can. I'm gonna give a quick look and go ahead.
I think I was also disappointed that he didn't seem to have consequences for things until, like, things were completely gone. And not necessarily consequences necessarily in the public eye, but, like, the consequences of, like you said, like the cheating stuff. Like, his wife tries to confront him about it, and he's just like, she works at the place, I swear, it's nothing. She's like, okay. And then with his own kids, his daughters are, like... I'm glad that they got basically separated. But when he was like, yeah, our daughter's asked when I can move back in, and she was like, I know you're lying to me. You've been lying to me the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Because his, what was it? She was like, I don't know. Like, maybe it's the pacing for me was a bit weird. Or the beginning just felt like slow, but just building up the fact that I'm supposed to not like this guy. And it didn't take long for me not to like the guy. Like, I didn't need to spend as much time not liking the guy to understand that I'm not supposed to. And then when things finally hit the fan, it wasn't even like a satisfying ramp up in speed, like, say, like Hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, I don't know. Like, I can't think of how to put it. I just know, like, I did not like the vibes of this movie. That's where
Yeah.
I'll put it.
Yeah, that's okay. It's pretty much what I said with Pearl and X. It's like I was trying to look up, like,
Maybe it's me just being disappointed in the fact that, like, with the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, this is a cool idea. And to just be given something that everybody has already talked to death. Again,
Yeah.
maybe this means something to people that are never on the internet, but also it could mean even less to people that are never on the internet. Because everything is so social media focused. If you don't care for social media, then a lot of this just feels like a guy complaining for gaining fame.
Mm-hmm.
I did think it was funny when he does his apology video, and I was like, wow, this sounds fake. And his wife is like, that was so self-serving. And his daughter's like, I just should kill myself now.
Yeah. Look, all he needed was a ukulele.
At that point.
I was trying to look up the writer, and he was also the writer, director, and editor for this. And he did another film the year before, Sick of Myself, which is a story about relationship, contemporary art, and alternate identity and personality creation.
This is saying this is a black comedy fantasy. It's not even, is it a, I would have liked to have laughed more. Like,
There were
The
parts
Lobs-
that was like a chuckle, but at the same time,
like,
I'm
The Lobster is really, that's what I would classify as that type of comedy. Because The Lobster, you know you're not supposed to laugh because it's a terrible situation.
it's a romantic comedy. I don't know what you're talking about. One for the ages.
But The Lobster is like, you're so uncomfortable, you have to awkward laugh because otherwise you have to, like, feel all the icky feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Dream Scenario, it's just like awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where I'll leave it. Produced by Ari Aster. Interesting.
That's how I got the A24.
Oh, okay. So he hasn't done a ton of movies yet.
Yeah, it's his third written one. I don't know. It does feel like, seeing how it came out last year, which probably meant it was written about 2 years ago, when cancel culture was like, I would say it still happens, but I think it felt like every other week you were hearing about somebody else getting canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know where this guy, and I don't really feel like doing the work to find out where he aligns with, but I don't know. If it was written like in 2021 and then got greenlit and then filmed in 2021, 2022, and then edited and had release. Anyway, all that stuff to say, it's just like, I guess this movie does make sense in the time period that it was written. If it was,
I do like some of the reviews that I'm seeing on Wikipedia, like, some of them I think are a little bit more, like, positive than I would have given it.
yeah,
Because they're just blanket saying, like, it has something to say about pop culture's fickle whims. It's like, it's not about pop culture specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And people aren't being fickle. It's that if you are found out to be a terrible person, you don't deserve to have a platform. But, of course, people will say, like, people are so picky about what they want. It's like, no. But in any case, I do like this one review where it says that often funny and frequently surreal, has more ideas than space to execute them, leading to the third act. I feel like it's overloaded and indecisive of where it wants to land. I think that's probably why I can't place why I don't like the movie, because there's so many
Yeah.
things about it that are just like, I guess I did mention it, like me and you talked about it. A lot of on ramps, but where did they go?
Yeah. I was like, why is my desk shaking? I looked over and saw the time ended like a minute and a half ago. But yeah, it's definitely
It could have been fine
uh
tuned.
well,
Go ahead.
I was reading here, I'm like, and I realized I haven't really watched any. I watched one Black Mirror episode, and it's like dream scenario turns its approach into an excuse for a light chapter dream mirror or Black Mirror. Luckily for everyone, nothing that the Talking Heads music can't fix. But then the rest of the reviews in Spanish. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. It definitely feels like one of those things where like, because as I said, like I think what's more interesting to talk about this film is the one thing that they really don't explore, which is why he in dream, like,
Yeah.
and then why he in his dream, and so, except for the fact to get the cheap YouTube apology video.
I have the lived experience now.
Yeah.
I see it through your eyes. I feel bad. I'm sorry. It's stop saying I. The
Yeah.
first rule.
Second, here's a musical instrument. So, but yeah, it's one of those things. Like as we're gonna end up repeating ourselves, but there's the potential for. It felt like there was a potential for something, and what we ended up was a lot of nothing. It's like,
Yeah, like ultimately what does it say? It just says you can be canceled.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is probably also one of those movies. Like, how long was it?
I felt way too long for what it was. I think it 2 hours.
Dream scenario. It
'Cause I
was
remember
an hour 42.
Hour 42. Because I remember, like, I watched half of it in the beginning of the day and the other half, like, when I had more time later in the day, kind of thing. And I was like, there's 50 minutes left?
There's a
When
lot.
I paused it.
And there's sometimes I'm like, what? So it doesn't help that the last Nicolas Cage movie I watched before this was
The Great Expectations.
yeah, the
Or-
unbearable weight for massive talent. I'd rather just watch that again.
Yes. That was a very fun, silly, goofy movie. But in any case, so since our timer is up, do you have any final things in your notes that we didn't get to?
I feel like we hit everything. Yeah, it's anything worth mentioning. Like there was stuff in the beginning that and I'm pretty sure you noticed as well. Like when we realized him showing up in people's dreams just isn't like his daughter, him just standing there. Like when we start learning that he's in other people's dreams, like the looks that he gets, and it's just his researcher friend that he's like complaining about for not getting quoted, like not getting any credit or anything. She has this like 2 second like, oh, this is what you look like, and I'm like, he's in her dreams, like it, because she's like, she says something on the lines of like, I wasn't expecting, like this is not, wasn't expecting to look like this because they haven't seen each other in like 30 years, and so it's just like, oh, there he is. And it's just even in his ex girlfriend, same thing, and like the what's his face, not well, actually we never know. I said her when he's at the restaurant to meet the
The
college student,
hostess.
she's just like dumbfounded of just like, have I seen you before?
She's like, your name is this. And he's like, no, I never told you my name. She's like,
Yep.
huh.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, there's like stuff in there. Like part of me part of me wonders if like a second watch, mainly just for the first third, before like he gets famous, just to not the obvious like the obvious people that are like, these people know who he is because he's in Dream, but like more of like the kind of the subtle, like, what the like, I know that guy, that's that guy that's just looking at me in my dream. So I don't know, it's it could have been much more sci-fi, but yeah, sci-fi creepiness. But would you recommend this to anybody as I sneeze? Oh, I called it out, so no, I'm not sneezing anymore, but still,
Bless
question
you.
stays.
I don't know. Like I said in the beginning of all this discussion, like I can imagine teenage me like recommending this movie to people because it does feel like an almost smart movie. Like it had its shot to really deliver an interesting message, and then instead went the obvious route. And I think for me, I think it's an average movie. Like I think we both kind of like really liked the introduction to everything, and then I think everything past the first third I was like, oh, okay, yeah, of course this would happen. Yeah, I figured this would happen. Oh, why is this happening? But not in like a cool way, but like a, okay, I guess this is happening now.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because like I personally want to introduce it to any of my friends. It almost feels like what Maddie said, like about Marcel the Shell. People have a personal brand, and I don't want this reflective of my personal brand. And I think the thing that worries me is I wonder if this movie is one that the wrong kind of people will choose to relate to the main character versus learn from the main character. Kind of like I was discussing it with my friend Joaquin Phoenix in the Joker movie.
Your friend Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes.
Oh. Can we get him on?
But I haven't watched the Joker, but my friend did watch the Joker, and I immediately asked, why does a certain group of people gravitate towards calling themselves the Joker after watching the movie? He said that it's clearly meant to showcase that the character is not well and probably shouldn't be in contact with other human beings, but because it's told from an unreliable narrator's perspective, much like Dream Scenario, that's why some people will cling to the Joker character, not realizing it's supposed to be like, you're supposed to be scared of this guy, not relate to this guy.
Yeah. I have problems with people that like Joker from the like Batman stuff, and even Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn's a little bit, I don't know, she's getting better, but still, it's like, I don't know.
I hated the people that said like, he's my Joker and I'm his Harley Quinn.
So
like,
you're being abused?
But it's that same kind of thing where like, because the Joker and Harley Quinn are both unreliable narrators, so when they say things about each other, like put in and pet names, you're not supposed to take them at face value.
Yeah.
So,
except literally on the like even the children's show Joker beaten. It's like it's like, is this a cry for help?
but I can see people that might say like, oh, I get canceled on the internet, I want to say things and people beat me down. I can see them watching this movie and being like, I'm just like that guy. See, we feel bad for this happening.
So you're pathetic.
I know, that's what, and I think that's my worry with movies like these, where like the satire isn't clear cut enough for me to be able to say like, oh, it had a message. This is instead kind of like, it could have
been more.
Yeah.
But this is what we got.
Would you recommend this movie?
I don't think I would recommend it, but if I was going over a friend's house and they were like, hey, we're going to watch this, I'd be like, I'd probably watch it with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it, but I'm not going to, like, leave the room. I'll probably end up talking over the whole movie, but, yeah. I don't know. As I said, after the first third, the best part was like, oh, Ada. And she's only in there for like 30 seconds, and then she's gone.
I do like her line where she goes, So my friend says she has these dreams, and they all stopped. What happened? He's like,
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, now that we now that we finished a movie that I guess wanted to make you think, now we're gonna watch a movie again that I don't know, probably still wants us and probably will end up causing thoughts. Because it's not just us. Boom, we're watching Ex Machina again, not tomorrow, next week. And we have special guest System Chalk. And if he's listening to this episode, yes, you guys know it's going to be a long one. So
no, we're gonna keep it an hour, right? Itisdpayne?
we're gonna try. We're definitely gonna try. But hey.
This is our treat to System Chalk. The last time we had him on here, it was only an hour's long discussion because he was like, I have nothing to say about this because I got literally nothing out of this movie.
This is our apology.
And this is a movie that we believe he can talk about plenty.
To be fair, everyone but Maddie and Kathy wasn't in the last one, but like everyone that's in here, like that's watching this was our apology tour to having them watch some terrible Christmas movies.
Maddie didn't dislike the movie she was given. And in the Apocalypse. That was our like only 7 out of 10. Or what outside of
No, I'm saying Maddie
Maddie
did not like the movie that she had
Maddie's
to watch.
Was flipped.
Yes.
Maddie had a good Christmas movie, and she had a personal vendetta for her A24 movie.
Yeah, so look, that's the thing. Like, if you had a bad time, that means the next time we invite you on, it's higher chance of being good. But if you had a good guys, if you guys are watching this episode, I'm sorry. It means most of you are going to have a bad experience next time you're on.
We'll make sure of it. I mean, what? No, it wasn't on purpose.
It's all planned. And I just said Kathy and also K to the J, like they weren't in the Christmas episodes. So they got, well, K to the J got in because no one else wanted to watch Hereditary. And then it's like later we found out all these people like, wait, I would have totally watched Hereditary. And I'm like,
oops.
Really?
Whoops.
So, oh well. We'll remember that for later. But yes, Ex Machina with System Chalk.
And then in only a handful of episodes, or less than a handful of episodes, then we'll get to introduce our next little plans. Before we do something after that we tell ourselves every time when we watch one series for a long time, we get frustrated. But we'll see. We'll see.
This, I feel like when this, I feel like this one is. It reminds me a lot more of how we did Over the Garden Wall, which I still like Over the Garden Wall. So, but then again, it's only 10 episodes. So,
and they're only 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Each.
Which, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. There's still a part of me that would love to do Twin Peaks, because that one I'm like, I don't think any of us is like that's a comfort watch. And
I've started Twin Peaks, never finished it.
Yeah, I just like it. So, but anyway, that is not confirmed of anything happening. So with that,
if you want confirmations on anything, you have to yell at us when you submit reviews or ratings or leave comments on YouTube.
Yep, or try to get us canceled. Like, hey, we might do something different if people try to do that.
I'll start. I need to buy some fake tears so that my apology video can look real.
I want to buy alligator tears off Amazon.
Have you seen people? They have like the tear sticks for actors, so it kind of like the reaction you get from like cutting onions. Mm-hmm. It'll make your eyes water up.
Oh, no, I don't think I've ever seen that. I've only seen people like the wake up stick or whatever it is, and crack it and forget what it's called. Mm-hmm. I know that's not what I just said is what it's called, but yeah. So. But yeah, that is it, everyone. You'll have a good morning, night, whatever time you're watching or listen. Hello, bug. There's a bug in my apartment. Whenever you're watching or listening, thanks a bunch, and we'll see you next week for Ex Machina. Bye-bye.